thinking, how can I keep my vital organs away from the knife? And the day before, I realized
Yup, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation, pulling guard in a knife fight.
He pulled guard. He literally sat on his back and pulled guard. When the whistle blew and he lied down his back, all of us were like, no way. This is content.
This is from Season 2 of the Ultimate Self-Defense Championship, available to watch on the YouTube channel Martial Arts Journey. And this is my own interpretation of how things went. The rules were simple. Survive 20 seconds in a cage with a knife fighter without getting fatally stabbed. We were told to go sparring intensity, which means that you pull your shots to avoid damaging the volunteers.
Crawl atop me and meet your doom!
My reasoning for this strategy is that sitting to my guard keeps my legs in front of my torso for protection. That way, I can keep my vital organs as far away from the knife as possible. People are sure to say, what about your femoral artery in your legs? You're just offering it up on a silver platter. Which I would respond to that with, of course, it's a knife fight, it's dangerous. And you can get stabbed in the leg standing too, plus your torso, your neck, or even your heart. People will also say you should just run, which I agree with, but that wasn't part of the challenge. I knew the other contestants would have relatively similar strategies to each other, meaning stay standing. So I figured, let's try something unorthodox for science. Especially because my strategy going into the competition was try to only use Jiu-Jitsu. I knew if I failed, people would not only talk shit about me, but Jiu-Jitsu as a whole, so a lot was on the line. Round 1 starts off and the attacker seems genuinely confused on how to proceed. I start slow and too much in Jiu-Jitsu mode, controlling him and trying to find sweeps when I should be attacking more. This is the worst cut I took in this round, but if you look closely, it looks to me like it's only the side of the blade that touches me. I also have very thick legs, which I'm not bragging about, but I am curious if that extra meat provides more protection to my femoral artery than the average person. These 3 shots look to me like they would have been knockout shots, which I think for this strategy is essential. In this challenge, you only have to last 20 seconds, but in real life, if you pull guard, there's no time limit and you have to rely on connecting with a knockout up kick. Look how I'm also hitting with the flat of my foot. I don't want to hurt the volunteers, but if I use my heel, then these would be much more devastating. I also purposely didn't wear shoes for 2 reasons. 1, I'm most used to grappling without shoes, and 2, shoes would be more likely to hurt the volunteers. And again, I didn't want to do that.
To everyone's surprise, Jordan managed to pull guard in a knife fight and survived the first round, since the cuts weren't lethal.
Round 2. In round 2, I think this attacker knew what to expect more after watching round 1 play out. He's slashing at me, but he doesn't really connect until here, which the judges ruled would have hit my femoral artery and killed me.
Despite doing a great job at using the guard again, unfortunately, at the very beginning of the round, Jordan's femoral artery got cut, which would lead to a person bleeding out very quickly unless given immediate medical attention, resulting in Jordan losing the second round.
But if you look close, it looks like the angle isn't really there to connect. But obviously I'm biased, and I can see where they're coming from, so I am in no way complaining. Again, I'm biased. I think these shots with shoes would have resulted in a knockout. I mean, right away he holds his head to protect it, so he obviously felt it. And I could have landed harder if my intention was to hurt him. He's slashing, but still not really connecting. That one for sure is a knockout. I hit a sweep, meaning I knock him over, and this kick to my face really screwed me because it pissed me off and it deterred me from trying to get away. Instead, I wanted to get him back, which is not very smart in a self-defense competition against a guy with a knife. I should have just retreated. And now a big thanks to today's sponsor, Element. Picture this, you're having a really fast-paced roll, giving it everything, but halfway through, your body starts to feel tired, too tired, exhausted even. Sound familiar? It's not just fatigue. Often it's a lack of essential electrolytes, those crucial minerals that keep everything running smoothly, especially sodium. That's why I've been using Element, the ultimate electrolyte drink mix. Element helps me stay sharp, recover faster, and avoid those post-training cramps. No more energy dips or weird fatigue, just more time spent setting up rolling back attacks. Whether you're a seasoned practitioner or just getting started, Element's scientifically balanced formula of sodium, potassium, and magnesium can make all the difference. And here's the exciting part. They're offering my viewers a free sample pack with any order. That's 8 single serving packets free with any Element order. This is a great way to try all 8 flavors or share Element with a salty friend. Get yours at drinkelement.com/JordanTeaches. This deal is only available through my link. You must go to drinkelementcom.com/JordanTeaches. Round 3. In round 3, we were given a bag to help defend ourselves, but I should have just stuck to my original strategy. This stab here would definitely kill me. These ones too aren't great, but he's grabbing the edge of the knife, so he's probably hurting himself more than he's hurting me. Again, I should have just retreated, but I was kind of in fight mode now, especially after the last challenge. Felt like I hadn't really woken up yet. I didn't really get going. I didn't really fight, and performed poorly as a result. So now the switch is flipped and I want to fight. Again, I'm likely dead from earlier, so none of this really matters anyways. Round 4. This time there's an obstacle, and I did a pretty good job evading until here, where I get stabbed in the face, which was ruled fatal.
The single stab to the forehead was lethal, reminding us that it's not about how many times you get cut, but where.
Although I disagree. I don't think I would have died from that shot. The forehead is pretty thick, especially my thick head, but again, I'm biased. So let me know what you think. Did I deserve to lose this round? Because of this cut, I trip a bit on my helmet, which I should be wearing, but I hate headgear, and I couldn't see shit in it or breathe. I don't think these stabs got through before kicking the knife out of his hand, and I go right to what I know best, an armbar, but the time ran out before I could get the finish. Round 5.
You want my money, bro? Yeah.
I find this pretty funny. He asks, "Is that my money there?" And I say yeah, which is not very smart, as I should have just given him the money. Other than that, I think this round was a flawless victory, taking no damage before kicking the knife out of his hand, and finishing with an armbar, which I think is pretty cool.
Using an unorthodox strategy, Jordan was able to survive 2 rounds against all odds.
I just full guard, which I think is really cool because it actually worked.
A lot of people make fun of BJJ. Come on, what are you gonna do? Sit down on your back when someone attacks you? Butt scoot? And he did that, and he did incredibly well.
Conclusion. My conclusion would be that guard pulling in a knife fight worked better than anyone would have expected. Better in this specific scenario, with a time limit, a fake blade, no worry of additional attackers, no way to run, and no choice but to fight back. Now listen, I'm not saying I recommend pulling guard in a knife fight. I don't want to encourage anyone in any direction. I am not an expert. Don't take this video as advice on what to do or not do in a knife fight. I know that I know next to nothing about knife fights, other than how incredibly difficult and how much of a losing situation that it is. I do plan to learn more though from legit experts, as I do find it pretty interesting.